nobody was there. Nobody. And I was shocked to learn that the flight was canceled from Marrakesh to Casablanca, and from Casablanca to Monrovia. And our dear Pastor Bernard, he was here, there he is, and Pastor Simon were trying to coordinate for me to see if I could get here earlier, but I would have arrived yesterday evening and would have cost more money. So we have 2 days, and I want to do several things. The first is, if you have come from another country, stand up. I want to know who they are. Okay. Now, I know that Brother Bernard has Back to Eden, so you can sit. Who else has Back to Eden? Back to Eden. Oh, Brother Gabriel. Good to see you. Yes, Sister Layla is always talking about you. You have Back to Eden, or you don't?
Here.
Not here, but at home. You own it somewhere. Okay, you can sit down. Who else has Back to Eden of those that stood up? You have Back to Eden? Okay, so you can sit. Brother Musa, do you have Back to Eden? No? I think you need to get one. And Brother Godwin, you work so much on health, you don't have one. You don't? What? Someone took it. Oh my. Okay. So, I want you to know that in being a college, so Pastor Christopher, here, the first one goes to you. Back to Eden. And I'm going to talk about this book. Yes, Brother Musa. There you have it. Brother Godwin. Brother, come. You don't have one. You're from Ghana. Okay. And who else? You're from another. Which
Benin.
one? Benin.
Yes.
Okay, here you go. And you're from? Ivory Coast. Now, all of you stand up and stood up. I have another book that I wrote that I want you to canvass. You are welcome to translate it. And my plan is to have a number of small books. These are 7 reasons why I'm a vegetarian. And I hope you will read it. You will translate it into your language, local language. Yes, my brother. Okay. And the brother Gabriel, do you have this one?
I've read all.
What?
I've read all. I don't know mine.
Okay, here. Yours.
I've read all.
Yeah. Here, you have one now.
That's from Togo.
Oh, from Togo. Oh. Okay. Who else? Did you get one? Where are you coming from? Ivory Coast. Come. There you go, my brother. And everybody got one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yuki. Want to have one? Here you go. Thank you very much. You may be seated. And I'm hoping, I think it would be ideal, my dear Pastor Bernard, if in Ghana we could have a branch of Norman College. Because I foresee Sister Henrietta teaching from Sweden. I can teach from America. We can have other instructors that are in the field of health, like Brother De La Paz from Philippines, and Brother Morris in Canada, that we could teach courses, because you can sign up from Africa. The problem we have in the United States is that in order to sign up, you have to pay with a credit card. And many people don't have a credit card in Africa. So if somehow you could come up with a way that they could pay the church in Ghana, the church in Ghana pays us at Norman College. You can sign up for different types of courses. I've taught nutrition, and it's all recorded. A short course, and I have a longer course on health reform. I've also taught Daniel, the whole book of Daniel, and others have taught ethics, the sanctuary. We want to have a number of different courses. So Norman College, look it up, normancollege.org, and you can follow. Now, this is a booklet. I didn't bring it. Maybe next time I come to West Africa. We print this book. This is a book written by Sister White, Healthful Living. How many have a copy of Healthful Living? You both have a copy. Very good. Healthful Living. This is what I consider the best book of all the health reform books that Sister White wrote. We have many good books. Counsels on Diets and Foods, Ministry of Healing, Temperance, Temperance and Bible Hygiene, Counsels on Health, Mind, Character, and Personality. And maybe I missed one. And this one, Healthful Living. Now what I like about Healthful Living, it was published in her time. And it's arranged by paragraphs, just like Counsels on Diets and Foods. But the advantage is that each paragraph is associated with a Bible text in the back, with a Bible verse. We're the people of the Bible. So for every text of Sister White, there's a Bible verse. The pioneers put that together. This was published by the Medical Missionary Board of the General Conference. I want you to know that the biggest hospital sanitarium in the world was owned by the Seventh-day Adventists in 1900 in the United States in Battle Creek. And it was John Harvey Kellogg, the one who discovered cornflakes, but the one who marketed it was his brother. And Kellogg was responsible for leading the board that published this book, Healthful Living. It's a beautiful, and we're going to quote from it. Now, all of these books are found on the internet, and you can download it from the White Estate. And they're available if you have a laptop. How many here own a computer or a laptop? Raise your hand. Okay, about half.
I have to add that you can also have the app in your phone.
That's right, thank you. You can have the, feel free to add as you hear me. So with your phone, how many have a phone? Raise your hand if you have a phone. Maybe 3/4. Okay, on your phone you can download the app of the writings of Sister White in so many different languages. Yes, and that is advantageous. I've brought a lot of medical equipment, and I really would like to measure some of you. 14 years ago I was here, and we measured, I have a list of all the people we measured at that time. Sister Elizabeth Lois, is she here? Lewis? Elizabeth Lewis. And James Coley.
Elizabeth Davis.
Oh, Elizabeth Davis, yeah, Davis. And James Coley. Okay, maybe in the afternoon we'll set a little time to do that. Now, one of my favorite lectures on nutrition is called The Nutrition Traffic Light. How many have heard that lecture? 1, 2, 3. The rest, 4. Well, you're going to hear it again. because it is so important, and the rest here have not heard it. And the nutrition traffic light. So let's read from the scriptures. First of Corinthians. Every time I give it, I modify it a little bit. But First of Corinthians chapter 10, verse 21. We're going to start with Brother Godwin. I want you to read the text, and we're going to go all the way around. Okay, so please have your Bible. I want you to read the Bible here out loud. I want to hear you read it in English. So, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 21. What does it say? My daughter is in medical school, and that's the way she listens to lectures, 2 and 3 times faster. And I can't understand it, but she does. Okay, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse number 21.
21.
Yes.
Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of the devils. You cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the table of the devils.
There are 2 tables. One is the devil's, and the other is the Lord's. What table do you have in your house? I want to tell you that some of you have 2 tables in your house. You have one table for the Lord and one table for the devil. And that's based on the food that you placed on the table. The table is holy. We asked the rabbis, how do you deal with sin that you don't have a temple? And they quote from the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel 41:22. Ezekiel 41:22. What does it say? The last part. The last line. Ezekiel, who has it? The first one that finds it, stand up and read it. The last part. 41:22.
This is the table that is before the Lord.
Amen. This is the table that is before the Lord. They say that when the Jew sits down to eat, that table is an altar of sacrifice. And we're either sacrificing to devils or we're sacrificing to God. Now, I'm still waiting to see a traffic light in Monrovia. And I'm hoping that I will be taken to see one because I really want to see a traffic light. And we call this lecture the Nutrition Traffic Light. And your responsibility is to take notes and then to share it in your local church. So let's do this traffic light. Maybe someone later can get some water and a rag and clean this blackboard really good. So there are 3 colors, not right now, but for the next lecture. There are 3 colors on the traffic light. What are they? Red. Where does the red go? At the top, in the middle, or at the bottom? Where do you put it here? At the top you put it. Red. What other color? Where do you put green? In the middle? Somebody said yes. You have green in the middle? No. You put it at the bottom. Green. And what's the middle color? Orange? Yellow. Maybe some people see it as orange if they're colorblind. Yellow. Now what does red mean? Stop. Or does it mean go? What happens if everyone that sees red goes? What's going to happen on the streets? Accidents. Deaths. So this means stop. I just came from Morocco and I saw how they write this, and it's something like this. I don't speak Arabic, but I guess the vowels are on the top and the consonants are on the bottom, because that's the way we do it in Hebrew. But Arabic, so that means stop. Stop. What's yellow?
Get ready. Get ready.
Get ready for what? To go. Somebody see the yellow and they go boom, they go very fast. No, get ready for what? To stop. It means caution. Caution. And green means go. Now let's classify foods into these three areas. Not according to their natural color. That's a different talk of phytochemicals. But according to how we classify them based on the Bible and the testimonies. There's another text. Colossians chapter 2, verse 21 through 23. Who has that? Colossians. Who has it? Colossians chapter 2, verse 21 through 23. Paul is talking about, Paul is talking about the different philosophies that existed in Greece. And there was one philosophy that was called the Pythagoreans. Anybody remember a square plus b square equals c square? Right? The person who invented this, we call this the Pythagorean theorem. And you learn that in school. What they don't tell you is that Pythagoras was a vegetarian. And all vegetarians were called Pythagoreans. Pythagoreans. And he wrote a lot about vegetarianism. Hundreds of years before Christ. So we're going to read the text. Colossians chapter 2, verse 21 and 23.
Touch not,
Touch not,
taste not,
taste not,
handle not,
handle not.
which all are to perish with the using.
Okay, so there are foods that we should not touch, we should not handle, and we should not taste. Okay, what are those foods? You tell us. I'm here to learn. Tell us. Raise your hand and tell me, what foods are we going to put in red that we need to stop eating? Yes, Brother God.
Animal food. Meats.
Meats, flesh foods. And this includes fish. Mao Zedong was a great revolutionary in China. He said everything that runs, swims, or flies you can eat. But Mao Zedong died, and he's in Beijing. He's there in Tiananmen Square in a mausoleum. But that's not what we believe. If something swims, if something runs or something flies, you should not eat it. It was not created to be eaten. And especially now, when we are getting close to returning to heaven, to paradise, to the Garden of Eden. No fish, no beef, no lamb. Let me share something with you. Ellen G. White wrote this book, Counsels on Diets and Foods. And if you study the life of Ellen G. White, you're going to see that she struggled with her diet. It was very difficult for her to overcome eating flesh foods. And the last food she gave up was fish. And she was eating foods that were unclean, like duck. They were stranded one time in the snow and then there in Colorado, and they shot some ducks and they had them for a meal. But this was all before 1896. She had a tremendous change in 1896 in Australia. She gave up all types of meat, even in times of emergency. No longer eating any more fish. It was over, done. And she wrote the book in 1900 called Ministry of Healing. And in Ministry of Healing, she talks a lot about fish. And I know you are, these countries in West Africa, it's very easy to get fish, for you to go fishing. And Jesus, I don't know if Jesus ever went fishing, but his disciples went fishing, and Jesus prepared fish and gave it, but that's another talk. I want to talk about that, how harmful fish are today compared to the time of Christ. Very harmful. A lot of terrible components in fish today.